Good job. Where did you send it, by the way? Did you send it to my Gmail or where?
Your peace and prosperity.
Peace. Okay, great. Thank you. That helps a lot. I'll be
Sure.
back.
Okay. And if you don't have it, I have it on, you can enable share screen and then I can go ahead and share what I have.
Yeah, that'd probably be easier because I don't see it here at all.
Okay. And then.
Oh, there it is. Go ahead.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Right. Or good afternoon or good evening, because most of you are probably evening.
Yeah.
And depending if I went to sleep, it's probably still evening for me as well. So, right. What we're going to do today is we're going to drill down a little bit further into the One Planet, One People social responsibility clubs. And as you know, we've been developing forms that we're going to share that will help guide you through the different processes that we have. So there's forms for intern candidates, there's forms for when you're a trainee and you've got to go through the step-by-step procedures. But now what we're doing is introducing the form for determining what your interests are in the programs through the One Planet, One People social responsibility clubs. And that's a very extensive form that goes through 5 different areas, including whether you're doing an internship or you're volunteering, what are your fields of interest that you have, what are the 6 action programs that we have, clubs, books, courses, programs, events, games that you want to go ahead and work within. Who is the target audience that you want to reach, whether it's students, employees, owners, retirees, the unemployed, working in collaboration with schools, churches, temples, nonprofits, NGOs, government agencies, and businesses. And then lastly, right, how are we going to go ahead and do our outreach in order to achieve our objectives? So these are the things that you'll have your own copy of the form. And when you fill this out, it actually comes back to us and it goes into a database that we'll be able to go ahead and glean information from in order to group people based upon what their interests are. Because when you come into the program, you're automatically a member of the global One Planet Club. And then you've got to choose, right, what departments basically you're going to go ahead and get into based upon your background and interests. So then when you're in those, you'll have different courses of action that you can do. And then when other people come in also, you'll be able to assign tasks and work sometimes in groups or in teams. Okay, so let's see.
I have it if you want.
Yeah, can you put it on the screen, please?
Okay. And I don't know which one you want.
It's the One Planet
Social?
The One Planet Social Responsibility Startup Guide. Yes, that's the biggie.
What is it?
I think that Kuwang is with us. I can hear world peace. No, peace. I can't remember the child's name. Okay, I don't want a tour. Okay, welcome, Kuwang. All right, here we go.
Okay, so if you can scroll up a little bit so you can get a little bit more of the form going, the little bit more of the graphic. And let's see. I don't know if you need to reduce your size on your screen so you can get the whole thing in, or is this a good size for everyone, what you see right now?
Well, you've got the header and you've pretty much got that One Planet, One People. Okay, so I'll go down right about there. That's about it.
I believe everyone's seen this graphic because this is what I, what I produced about a little over a week ago. And then what I did was when I created the form, I went ahead and used this numbering system as far as the different divisions in the form. So let's go ahead and scroll up.
Oh, that was it. All right. So how
You
far?
just keep going. You want me, is there any way to give me control or no?
Sure. Welcome, Christian. Okay, give it a try.
Okay, so share screen. Let me go with this one, share. And can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first set obviously is just basic contact information. But then when you get to number one, you choose what role you're going to have in your club. Are you going to be a volunteer or intern? And on the form here, it talks about what the differences are between internship and volunteer. Okay, you're all interns, so you're on this track right here. Other people might join as volunteers. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and select your fields of interest. Okay, what are you studying in school, or what other areas do you have an interest in? You might have an interest in business, but business might be marketing, it might be public relations, it might be management. You might have an interest in people, right? And getting a lot of people to participate. That might be human resources. Publishing could be book publishing, game publishing, things like this. Visual communication, graphic design, animation, kinetic graphics, social media graphics, different things. So these things apply to our action categories, which is number 3. So these are the 6 main areas that planned acts and One Planet, One People are involved with. We have the club programs, we've got our book programs, we got our courses, and then we have a catch-all category, which is, right, our education and action programs and our outreach programs. And you'll see that. And then events, whether now they're virtual or live, and then games, which is programming, but it also has to do with apps and even web development. So we start with number 1, we start with clubs, and then you have one pop or one pop clubs, which is obviously short for One Planet, One People. Okay, so you've got your global club, your national club, and your city club. Those are the 3 things. Everyone who comes into Planned Acts and One Planet, One People is now a member automatically of the global club. Okay, but you have the option of starting a national club or a community club. And then you'll get the support you need for doing that. And you all have read the manual already on, you know, how to set up and how to govern a club. But obviously we'd get into that a lot more specifically. Okay, and then you have options on how you go ahead and do your club. In other words, if you're doing it through an organization, it might be through your church, your temple, your mosque. If you're doing it through your university, it can be done through your school. If you're doing it organizationally based, it can be done in conjunction with a nonprofit or an NGO. So these are, school actually can be high school, it can be middle school, it can be the younger students who want to go ahead and do it, and then the older would go into the university-based system. Okay, so you can check off, well, obviously I'm in the global, but I also want to do a national. I want to be, right, the inspiration for my country in showing what we can do in the world in conjunction with, right, Planned Acts and the other countries. And this all comes from you. You can decide how big you want to be and how much of an impact you want to have. No one else gets to decide that for you. And this is an opportunity that most people don't get in their lifetime. Okay, most people, what do? They go to school, they get a job. They have very little opportunity to positively impact other people. So this is your opportunity to go ahead and do that, and thereby change not only the course of your life, but also hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands or millions of other people. Okay? So it is what you decide to make it. Okay, next, the book series, right? You're all familiar with the Legacy Lifeline books and the 16 Things We All Can Do books. So in Legacy Lifelines, we're coming out with the Memorial Special Edition, where we're going to be giving a free copy of the book to every family who lost a loved one due to COVID-19 in the world. You can get involved in that, and you'll learn what you can do. Okay? There's the Memoirs book. There's Relationships, Friendship. This is all on the website. 16 Things books. We had 4 books that were scheduled to be released, right, this summer, this fall, but unfortunately COVID-19 struck. So all of them got pushed back until, right, we get a handle on what's going on. But one of the books was in mental health in conjunction with the United Nations. Another book was on women's leadership in conjunction with a women's organization. That's an international organization that Jacque and I are both very familiar with, that does great work, the Women's Prosperity Network. We're doing a book with the Wesleyan Church, which is a group of educational churches that are worldwide, but in the United States, they've got 1,700 churches just in the United States. And they also run colleges. And we were also doing other books that had to deal with sustainability and food loss, hunger, and waste, things like this. So if you're interested in any of these subjects, right, you check off whatever you're interested in. Courses. So our One Planet, One People Social Responsibility Solutions course, and that gets into classes of civility, social responsibility, volunteerism, and global citizenship. You can get involved in programs like this. Our career track advancement, our 8 foundation skills, the skills that you're supposed to be using for your career, right? We're going ahead and developing an online course system so that anyone in the world can go ahead and take advantage of what you're going to be learning and utilizing during your internship program. And this is also available for people who are currently working as workers or even management that want to advance their skills so that they can move higher and higher up and have more and more of an impact. The higher up you move, the greater your impact, okay? And then Money Matters Mastery, that's a financial literacy and planning course. That course is geared right now to United States tax IRC code and financial codes that are existing here in North America. So for that, there might not be a direct connection between the country that you're in, but a lot of the foundation principles that we teach on savings, debt management, health and income protections are suitable for anyone. You need to know this stuff. So we deal with undergraduates, graduate students, postgraduate students from top universities here who have majored in business, finance, and economics. And it doesn't matter that they've gone to school for 12, 16, 18, 20, 24 years. They are not taught how money properly works. They're taught the Wall Street way of how money works. Wall Street doesn't work for 95% of the population. Wall Street works for Wall Street. So we teach them what they need to know, and then more than that, we give them the ability to go ahead and plan and take action for themselves, their families, and their future. And that's a whole nother program and a book that I've written on this called The Working Dead. There's a website, theworkingdead.us, if you want to take a look at that. Now, the biggie, the programs. These are supplemental programs to our books, our courses, our events. So under daily planned acts of kindness, which is part of obviously the Karma Club, right? You have information about, right, the Karma Club, and there are 4 different things that go into that: the levels of achievement, your daily PAKs, your engagement, your volunteerism, and your support. And then we have how you can become a guest host for the daily PAKs. You can say, I want to go ahead and share on July 15th what that daily PAK is. So you would get that from us in advance, and you would do a little video saying it. Now, on the 15th, when we release that daily PAK to our audience worldwide, you would be going ahead and releasing it on your social media and promoting it. The difference is that you're doing it through video, and, right, you're engaging people. And you can do these as often as you want. You can have other people come in and do them also. And, you know, if we end up with thousands of people sharing a daily PAK on the same day, and they're each doing it in their own voice, isn't that a very powerful thing? And that's actually a program you can get involved with. Now, let's expand that. Now go to Host and Post right below that. That's a program that I created where we get top-down institutions to go ahead and post the daily PAK. So they get what's called an API code, which is a little piece of programming, and it automatically pulls the daily PAK from our program into their media, whether it's on their cell phone, on their website, and then it allows a much broader audience to see it. So imagine if Facebook, let's say, went ahead and had a little link that showed what our daily PAKs are to everyone who signs up and goes into Facebook on a regular basis. Would that be reaching a lot of people? Heck yeah. So that's an example where Facebook would host it, they would post it in order to share it with their audience. And that can be done from, schools can do it, churches can do it, they can put it in their bulletin board, they can put it in their newsletter. NPOs, NGOs can do it, government agencies can do it, and then so can businesses. So this is a great way for us to expand our reach. Okay, and I realized I was talking to you, but not talking to the camera. Okay, my bad. Now I'll do both. Okay, so that's the Host and Post program. Now the World Video Map you're already familiar with. Okay, there are actually 4 different videos you can do. They don't take a real long time to do. The first is the Civility Challenge, right, or Civility Pledge. Takes 30 seconds to do. You want to do it in your own voice, in whatever your native language is. And that's true of all of these. You can do them in English. That's fine if English is your second language, but we primarily want you to do it in your first language. And then when you submit those, I'm actually putting up today on the website, on the World Video Map portion of the site, a form or a spreadsheet where we're going to have all the countries in the world listed, and we're going to have all these different types of videos listed. And whenever we get one that corresponds to that country, we're going to go ahead and post it. And our goal by the end of the year is to have every single country in the world represented on our video map. So if you want not only to go ahead, obviously, and do the videos, but if you want to go ahead and be a part of making that happen, how many countries can you go ahead and get videos from? So have a competition. Get 3 of your friends together who want to do this, and then see how many each one of you can do. It doesn't matter if you're doing the same country, right? That's fine. Okay, that just goes into your tally. How many countries? Over 190 countries. How many can you do? Isn't that a tremendous project to show that we've got one planet, we got one people on the planet, and we all, right, have to come together for quality of life. Okay, so that's our World Video Map project. Then our outreach and engagement. Okay, so this is a kind of fun thing as well. 20 things I can do to help make 2020 the year of world kindness. You can go to that portion of the site. You'll see there's 20 things you can do plus 4 bonus things. How many can you do in 30, 60, 90 days? It's a challenge. Take it, give it to other people, right? And let's see how much of an impact you can make. Now, if that impact isn't enough, well, there's 20 crazy ambitious things that I can do. So remember we talked about host and post? Well, how about getting a major news organization in your country to take the daily PAKs and run it at the bottom of the screen, right, at some point during the newscast, and commit to doing that for 30, 60, or 90 days. That's a crazy ambitious thing to go ahead and get done. Okay? And there's 20 of those types of things. Imagine getting a cereal company, okay, to go ahead and take one of our books and put it on the back of their cereal box, or take the club program and publicize it on the back of their cereal box. Okay, imagine getting, you see advertisements on television all the time from drug companies, from other companies, retail companies. Why not get them to put, right, our PAK or a One Planet, One People logo on the bottom of the screen with our URL, you know, plannedacts.org, okay? It cost them nothing to do this, 0. But imagine the goodwill that they would generate, because on their site also, they have a link back to us, and they can say they're doing corporate social responsibility by doing this, okay? And then, what's to stop with one? Imagine if we got companies all over the world going ahead and doing this. People are going to go, what's that? And check it out and say, wow, that's really cool. I want to participate. Okay? These are big things that you can do to make a big impact. And these things are quantifiable. And actually, if you're looking for things to add to your resume, to your portfolio, that's what companies want to see. Quantifiable results of something that you worked on, not just things that you did in school, in class, for a project that you've got thousands of other people doing exactly the same thing. That's not real world. That's not making things happen. So you're here to go ahead and have an impact. You're here to make things happen. These are opportunities. 100 PSAs in 100 days. Public service announcements. Okay, you've seen them all on TV. They're anti-smoking. Now they're about getting together, ending racism, things like this, which are absolutely great things. They're gun control. They're all these different issues. Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter. You can like art. You can like music. You can like dance. You can like singing. You can like sports. You can like anything. And we can show you how you can take that interest, convert it into a public service announcement, share it with other people, and make an impact. And why not run that program? Why not build a team and get, right, 100 of those PSAs submitted, right, by your school, by your church, by people all over. And then when we get 100 of them, we start releasing them every single day. And if you get 100, someone else gets 100, somebody else gets 100. We still go ahead, release multiple ones. We're not going to have an impact if we put one post on Facebook once a day. That does nothing. Okay? So we've got to be out there 7 days a week, literally, with multiple messages in multiple countries until we go ahead and reach a certain mass where it snowballs and then has its own growth. Kind of like if you bake bread. I bake bread. You add a little yeast, right? And boom, it blows up, right? And 4 hours later, right, you've gained 3 pounds. Oh, wait. That's just me. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, that's what we want, but without the added poundage. Okay. 6 Degrees of Outreach. That's a program where it's a spin-off on 7 Degrees of Separation or whatever it is, where if you want to contact anybody in the world, I don't care who it is. It could be the Pope. Hopefully it is the Pope that you want to contact. Okay? You know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows the Pope. So you can put that chain in motion and you can get us an audience. It might not be live, especially now, right, with the Pope. Okay? So that's your goal with this program. You set up people that you want to go ahead and you think would be great for us to connect with. Greta Thunberg. Sorry if I mispronounce her name. There's 6 different ways to pronounce it in English. So one of them's got to be correct. I just haven't figured out which one yet. Okay. The climate change activist. All right. So you want us to go ahead and reach her because of what we're doing on climate change pollution, right? The 17 sustainable, development goals from the United Nations. Well, make it happen and use that chain in order to do it. Okay? And of course, as part of a club, you can put together a team that can target multiple people. Okay. Next, corporate social responsibility. That's a category that companies are using today to show that they're a good national or global citizen, that they care about more than just profits. Unfortunately, most of them talk a good game, but do very little in reality. So we have multiple programs that can go into not only companies, but also schools, churches, temples, nonprofits, government agencies, and businesses to help them walk the talk. Okay? And these are all on the website under CRS, under Planned Acts, right? Be the Hero Leadership Recognition and Rewards Program. Our book program can be customized to whatever company objective that they're interested in. For instance, I was talking to Pfizer Pharmaceuticals about developing a book on safety for their people all over the world, okay, as well as how to adapt the Be the Hero program. Also, our sponsorship program, which is they go ahead and invest X number of dollars into Planned Acts programs, and in return, unlike what other nonprofits normally give them, which is simply a logo recognition, an advertisement in their program guide, or space on their banner, or some recognition on emails that go out, we give them very concrete and tangible things that could help them grow their business and actually increase their bottom line. And all under corporate social responsibility. So they're achieving multiple objectives at the same time when they come into our program. For instance, they can go ahead and co-brand and sponsor one of our books, whether it's the Legacy Lifelines or the 16 Things books, where they can have their name on the cover, they can have a foreword by their CEO, they can have a chapter about their mission, and they can have full color advertising in the book, and they can get back tens of thousands of books for free as part of their package, which then they can distribute through the back of a cereal box, through trade shows that they go through promotions that when people do X, they get the book, okay? And that's a heck of a lot better for the company's image than giving away a pen or a coffee mug. Not that I don't like my coffee mugs that I give away, right, ourselves. Okay, actually we also sell them. Okay, so that's on sponsorship, and then sustainability. And sustainability has many, many different forms. But what we do is we go into companies, we find out what their objectives are, whether it's on energy, environment, pollution, safety, food, whatever. And then we can adapt our book program, our Be the Hero program, to whatever their objectives are, and then give them, right, a great education plus action program that's quantifiable, that can help them exceed their objectives. So if any of these things are of interest to you, right, you check, check, check. Okay, now events. Okay, we used to have these things called live events, right? I don't know if any of you remember what those are, okay? But that was a long time ago, it seems, before we were all on shutdown and everything else, right? But one day in the United States and globally, we will be doing those again. So for now, we're going to concentrate on virtual events, and that's what we're doing right here. We have a virtual meeting, a virtual, you know, get together, a networking event, whatever you want to call it, trainee session, right? And you can say, I want to do those in North America. I want to do those internationally, obviously, right? And then what is your area of interest in doing events? Do you want to set appointments? Do you want to schedule meetings, seminars? Do you want to work on the courses, the workshops, the webinars? Do you want to work on fundraisers, virtual fundraisers? Do you want to work on summits where we put together a lot of people, and then we have also educational content along with that? So those are some of the things. Now, there's also obviously training sessions, which is what this really is. And then also webathon, which is what used to be called a telethon, where people call in and they broadcast that. And then they have some, it's like a very long informational. What we're going to do is do those on like COVID-19, where we're going to recognize people who lost their lives, people who were the, you know, on the front lines, first responders, taking care of other people, people who worked in the trenches, still keeping the country running, okay? And then we're gonna have this supported by corporate sponsorship, and the goal is also to reach families who have lost people through the COVID-19, so we can help them, right, create, you know, some happiness through the pain that they've suffered. Because it's really devastating to go through what they've gone through in terms of that loss of life. Where they're not going to be the same for a long time. You know, the people who passed, that's, you know, it's tragic, it's unfortunate, right? It shouldn't have happened. The people who are alive, those are the people who have to deal with the consequences and really have that heartache for a very, very long time. And, you know, that's one of the things that if we can make a difference, right, then we owe it to those people to make a difference. And that's why I've pledged to give away a book to every single family in the world who's lost someone. So you can help make that happen, okay? So areas of interest under these subjects: contact management, registration, database management, right? We're doing events, there's location scouting, even for virtual events. Coordination of services and other people that go into that, event management, making sure things run smoothly when the event is going on, and then publicity. So these are all areas that impact, right, a successful event. Now, last, right, the category is games, apps, web development. Okay, so programming skills. Have you done Apple Swift code? Have you programmed for Windows or Android, right? I'm not going to go through all of these things, right? Because if you're not in programming, right, you won't know what the heck they are. And sometimes even if you are in programming, you say, what the heck is that? Okay, web development skills, right? We use WordPress, which is the most popular web development and blog platform in the world. We use a beta theme. And in web development, you can also specialize in database management, front end, back end, form development, SEO, things like this. Board game development. There's graphic design, printing, marketing, publicity, sales, distribution, logistics. And that's not only for the One Planet, One People, Fight for Survival of the Human Race game that we're going to be coming out with hopefully later this year, but I am a game developer, or I used to be in a previous life, and I've kind of resurrected that for this coming fall and beyond. So if you're interested in learning about game development, there's not a lot of people in this country or around the world who have done it successfully, but I have, so it's a good opportunity for you to learn, okay, if you're interested. Now, those are our 6 core programs. And what do? They help us do outreach, engagement, inspiration, education, and action. Okay? Now, who do we do that with? Well, our 5x5. And you should know how to say these things that I've been talking about as you get further and deeper into your programs. The language that I use is language that you want to adopt. So when I say 5x5, you say, well, that involves, we work with 5 groups of people: students, employees, owners, retirees, and the unemployed. And we do it in collaboration, in conjunction with schools, churches, temples, and mosques, nonprofits, non-governmental organizations, government and government agencies, and businesses. So we work from the grassroots up, and we work from the top down. So you make your selection. You can check off all of these. I want to do them all. Up to you. You can check off 3, 2, 1. Just don't check off none. That's hard to do. Okay, outreach. Well, who do you want to go ahead and outreach to, right? When we go into companies and we want to educate them about our sustainability programs or our courses or our books, this section goes into all the different programs that we have. We can go to C-suite, which is upper management, top level management. We can go to the department that does corporate social responsibility. We can go to the event department. We can go to the marketing department. We can go to the publicity and public relations department. And some companies also have sustainability departments. We can go to them also. So the thing is, right, in the programs that we have, our 6 main action categories, for any of those, we can go to any of these entry points into companies to see whether they're interested in sponsoring. So it's not like you've got one shot at making it happen, okay? 5 of them could say no, and all it takes is 1 in the company to say yes in order to make it happen. And also, it doesn't matter if all 6 initially say no, not now, not interested. That is actually fine. Because what you did by doing outreach in the first place, and this is true of everything. This is true of your friends who you share, right, what you're doing. This is true of your family. This is true of your classmates. This is true of associates. This is true of, right, future people that you're going to go ahead and meet. The thing is, it matters that you share what you're doing, okay? Even if it's just in very simple terms. And it doesn't matter that 95, 98% of them, right, don't go ahead and take action on it at the time. Because When you start later to introduce things that you've also worked on, things that we've done, back to those 95, 98 that said, not right now, not interested, what will happen is a much higher percentage will turn around and say, yeah, now I'm interested. Because they wanted to see that we have stick-to-itness, we have persistence, we have consistency, okay? And insistency on what we're doing. So they want to constantly or be updated on what's going on so that they'll have the confidence to pull the trigger, okay, and get involved. So once we start showing them the books, once we start showing them, right, the success of this club, this course, this whatever, they'll say, oh, right, now I want to go ahead and be part of that. So it happened because you originally made the connection. Now we get to use the programs to help build the relationship. Okay, and then we educate and they take action, we take action, and that's how we achieve their original objective as well as our own. So it goes in full circle. So nothing you do is ever wasted in terms of time or energy. It's all important. Okay, and that's the attitude that you've got to go in with, and that's the understanding that you have to have in order to be really successful. Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, right, the most successful series of books in history, they got rejected by over 140 publishers before their book was finally accepted. Okay, that's a lot of rejection, but they believed in what they were doing, and then they made it happen. Okay, and because they made it happen, right, they went ahead and helped literally hundreds of millions of people go ahead and have a little bit more joy in their lives through the stories that they shared. That's hard to say, right? Through their books. Okay, so you've got to have that persistence in what you're doing. All right. So in our projects, whether you're doing courses or whether you're doing books or whether you're doing games, there's distribution and sales. Okay, and depending on what you're doing, you can reach out to any one of these markets and we can adapt our programs to meet that audience in order to have them participate in what we're doing, whether it's associations or trade groups, bookstores, drugstores, government agencies, okay? Even governments can go ahead and participate. Just think about the Legacy Lifelines Memorial Edition book. We want to get governments to go ahead and collaborate with us to make the book available to their people. We're not charging the government for participating. But if the government puts it out and then starts putting up posters and PSAs and everything else, and we can reach a lot more people that way. So get involved, be a part of that aspect. Okay? So those are the categories that you can do distribution and sales to. Then we have another category, experts and influencers. And these people can get involved in everything from being contributing featured experts in some of our specific books. For instance, they get to share about what they think is a problem in the world and what needs to be done to solve that problem. Same thing that we ask you to do in a video. They would do in a video also. And depending on who they are, that determines, and what they're talking about, that determines the book that they would go into. So for instance, we might be doing a book on, 16 things we all can do to act right and help save the planet. And it might be celebrity special edition. where we put together 32 celebrities that talk about problems in the world and what needs to be done to solve those problems. And they get their color picture in the book, they get their social media in the book, and they get to talk about something that's important to them. So one person might be talking about climate change, another person might be talking about racism, another person might be talking about pandemics, not to mention a few things that are in the news right now that are really important. Okay, so this is a great opportunity for them to do their social responsibility and engender a tremendous amount of goodwill at the same time. And we're not talking about putting out 5,000 books. We're talking about 100,000 books in the 16 Things series. Okay, and then that ties into the corporate sponsorship as well. So again, remember, it's that spider web approach that, you know, how I build the systems so that they interconnect, so there's strength in, greater strength in what we're doing because of those connections and collaborations, which is the basis of one planet, one people, right? The fractional approach doesn't work to solve global social issues. We've got to start collaborating across the board, right? The approach that all the nonprofits use, right, about having one mission with one single focus, and then anything that doesn't meet that or any competition there is between those groups, right? You know, that's all a bad thing because they got to go ahead and protect their territory, their turf. That costs lives. That costs quality of life. So we've got to get more collaboration on this planet. Okay, so you pick, right? What categories do you want to go ahead and contact? And you're going to learn how to go ahead and contact those people, how to invite them to be interviewed, how to manage that, how to do follow-up, okay? And that's a really cool thing. And of course, you get your name in the book, okay, as well. And then that book becomes part of your portfolio, which also becomes part of your legacy. There's not a lot of people who have had their name in books. There's a lot of books out there, but if you think about how many people there are in the world, not a lot of people get acknowledged for what they do. Okay, so that's something that you can look back on as a source of real, you know, proud, you know, of being proud, and you have every right to have that. Okay, and you can share that with your friends, your family.
Okay, the last 10 minutes, Lyle, let's wrap it up and see if we can get some questions. I think you pretty much put it out there that
Okay,
these are all choices that they can say that they would like to work with as long as they have this filled out and the video, because we have a new person on the line too. And I just wanted to be sure that they had their questions answered before we wrapped up.
Okay, so let me just go through very quickly then. The next group is media connections, and media connections means, right, traditional formal media, from magazines, newspapers, radio, television, okay? Social media, we all know what that means. And then for any of these things, there's a process that we go through, and that's the outreach and engagement steps. So the first thing is, right, you're going to research, create a contact spreadsheet, because your spreadsheet, let's say you decide that you're not doing this based upon the United States, right, celebrities. You're doing it about celebrities in India. Why not, right? We're global. So you have to have a completely different database than what we've gone ahead and done. So you do that. And that's true of whether you're doing it for corporate social responsibility, whether you're talking government officials, you create your contact spreadsheets, that goes into your Google folder, you know, on our Google Drive, okay? And then you're gonna review with us what your connection options are. How do you connect with them? What's the best way to do that? And then if you're gonna be saying something, you're gonna have to record yourself saying it, okay? Because we wanna make sure that you're comfortable enough to say it properly to your audience, because sometimes you only get 5 or 10 seconds to establish that connection. Okay, so you want to do it the right way. And then what are you going to do? You're going to call, you're going to email, you're going to invite, you're going to schedule, and you're going to follow up. Okay, you're going to set up calendars. This is the management aspect of the program that you're working on, and this is critical to your success. Okay, so you're going to use the 8 foundation skills to do research, right? To do analysis, problem solving. You're going to use the foundation skills in office technology, right? Also, you're going to set up your outlines according to the procedures guide. You're going to set up your spreadsheets according to the procedures guide, and you're going to set up how you do project management as well. And these are skills that are going to benefit you for your entire lifetime. Okay, so after that section, taking action, right? You know you got to have those 4 qualities: desire, determination, willingness to learn, and you've got to take action. You've got to go ahead and provide your initiative. After today's session, we're going to set up an additional time for us to talk as a group besides Friday. And I'll talk to Jackie when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen earlier in the week. But from now on out, you're also going to be contacting me directly, regularly, to help you with your projects. And you're not going to wait for me to go ahead and say, Karen, what are you doing? Right? What's up? How's it going? You're going to have to go ahead and get in touch on a regular basis in order to make things happen. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of people, right? I go to the people who are proactive, okay? Because I don't have, frankly, time to reach out to everybody who isn't doing something. So you want to make things happen? Make things happen. And this is the way you do it. Okay, so then there's your going solo steps. If you're going to do this on your own, if you want to build a team, building a team, you do everything that the solo steps are, plus you reach out to other people, and some of that's in the materials already that you've gone through. Okay, so this is what you're going to get in the next today, a few hours from Jackie. Okay, you're all going to fill it out, and you want to have this filled out tomorrow, Saturday. Don't put it off. Do it. You're already familiar with a lot of things that I've spoken about. There's no reason why you can't spend a half an hour to go ahead and do this. So, get it done.
And then send it to you?
Yeah, it automatically will come to me. You know, all you do is fill it out. It'll automatically come to me. And then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I'm to send them over this after the meeting. Shall do. Okay.
Cool.
Let's
Okay.
thank you. That's a lot of information to work with. And I think at some point it feels, I got to get off of here. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Here we go. There we go. Stop sharing. All you need to do is to stop share so I can see everybody.
Oh, you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Where do I find that? Let's see.
Okay, here we go.
You can disconnect my sharing, can't you?
Well, it says share screen, so only one. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, I don't want to see me. So I thank all of you for being here. Do you have any pressing questions that you would like to have answered right now? Because we are real close to being finished. Got about 2 minutes. I know it's kind of overpowering, and I don't want you to feel that way, but what he's done is given you all kinds of choices as to things that you will be looking at to be able to decide where you want to be. And the check steps are right there. It tells you the things that you need to do to begin interacting with him and to begin to do this. It doesn't mean that as you click on these things, you're committed tomorrow to finish up talking to the UN. Give me a break. We need for you to just do the little steps that will help you to get to the next one, which is to talk with him and to decide how you're going to do some of these things and how you're going to commit to do some of them in your own timing. So anyhow, any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself real quick, like, because we're just finishing up, and those that would like to can stay on for the peaceful mind.
And also, if you have some questions before we're set up on WhatsApp or whatever other medium we're going to be connecting on, you're going to go to the Contact Us form on Planned Acts, and you can just directly contact me through that. Okay, and I'm actually going to set up another one today for IPOP Contact Us. Okay, but until that's set up, you can always use the regular contact us form. If you want to know my WhatsApp number, it's very simple. It's 917-683-2625. I don't know where the heck the chat is. I don't know where the chat went.
Yeah, everyone.
Excuse me
917
for the
683.
WhatsApp number.
I'm
You
doing
should
it.
add the country code.
It's probably
For the,
just one.
for the WhatsApp number,
Okay.
is
All
there a
right.
Yeah,
country
I
code
think it's just
necessary?
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's
Just-
one.
If not, I'll put it
917-683 what?
2625.
2625.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
So
there, so
send me an invite, get in touch with me, because, right, from now on, this, getting together once a week where nothing's done during the week is not how we're going to run this. Okay? From now on, you're going to have weekly objectives, right? And you might have multiple objectives that you need to do. So you've got to take now, before it was all up to me in terms of what I was sharing, now it's all up to you. Okay? So where do you want to be? What type of impact do you want to go ahead and make in the world? 3 months from now, 6 months from now, right? Get on a career course or get on a path where you can go ahead and have the life that you want, not just to go ahead and be a worker where you're doing, all your energy to make somebody else rich. You can make other people rich based upon, right, the, positive things that you're putting out into the world. I'm not talking about monetarily rich. I'm talking about rich in terms of quality of life, because we all deserve it. Okay? But we're not going to all have it unless we start working together.
amen. Thank you, Lyle, very much. We do
You are
appreciate your interaction. And we will see you at least next Friday at the same time and be able to see what action we could have happen well before that.
right. So start talking to your friends. Tell them what you're doing. Get your spreadsheet together, right? And then you're going to host a meeting, or we're going to have a group meeting where you can bring in a lot of other people. We'll share. We're not going to overwhelm people, but we're going to give them the opportunity to participate. You're going to have your team. You're going to go ahead. Some of you are going to be running departments. So that's in the information. So think about it. All right.
Okay, great. Thank you
Have a
so
good weekend.
much.
Talk to you soon. We're going to have another meeting earlier in the week. Bye, Jackie. I'll talk to you.
Bye.